And it's time to pop the cork. Hey, one of us is not old enough to drink. We told you we were going to feature someone who is an entrepreneur, and she actually came up with this idea when you were 13,
Yeah,
and now you're 18?
correct.
Okay, so this is Krista Schusler. We're going to talk about her business during our Wet Your Whistle and some fabulous food. And I have to thank Jenny. Jenny actually said, Monica, you know Krista? I said, sure. Do you know that she has her own charcuterie company? What? No, I didn't. Do you know she's been doing this for 5 years? So we're going to talk all about this today, and we're going to feature a fabulous wine. I'm sorry that I can't treat you to this.
It's all good.
She's not
One day.
old enough
One
yet.
day.
Jenny, though, is going to get one of my favorite wineries. This is Trefethen Winery and Cab Franc. Have you ever had a Cab Franc before?
I have not.
Okay, so we're going to do this during our Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. And then next Wednesday, we'll be back with Chuck Gillentine, the owner of Defiance Ridge Vineyards. So enjoy if you are home. It's a little happy hour time for you. Otherwise, it's 4 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 6 o'clock somewhere, right? It's later. If it's 9:30 in the morning, whatever. Just start your day and get happy. We're all about bringing happiness to you. So thanks for being a part of with us. Open up whatever you want. And if you don't drink, have a mocktail, or as Krista's going to have, what do you have over there?
A little sparkling water.
LaCroix, right? We're going to get fancy. We're going to let her make her noise. We'll make our noise. I know Michelle, who used to do Wet Your Whistles with us, it's her favorite noise to open up a bottle of wine. So you want to do the honors, or you want me to?
You can.
She doesn't want to get it all over the white chair.
That's right. That's right.
All right. So we're going to taste a little wine. We're going to pair it up. So Chris is going to tell us what we have in front of us. I picked a wine that I think will go best, but I also want to do something that in the wine world, and in anybody that's going to restaurants, when they ask for a glass of wine, and do your parents drink wine?
Yes.
So have they ever said this before where they're like, I think that's been open for a little while,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And you can taste the difference.
Yeah.
So I purposely, and this is actually a good bottle of wine, 4th 2021 Cabernet Sauvignon. This is from Sonoma, by the way. This has been open for a few days. I'm going to let you try them both, Jenny.
Okay.
Some people actually like when it's been open for a little while.
Yeah.
I think it's been open for too long. So I have a feeling, and I'm going to think it's going to have like a vinegar taste to it.
Yeah.
But both of these are 2021. So this is a Cab Franc from Trefethen, and this is 4th, again, from Sonoma County, 2021 Cab. So a Cab and a Cab Sauv.
Okay.
Please tell me you like Cabernets.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, wine.
That's wine.
Mama love the grape.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, let's feature our featured guest. So Krista Schusler, once again. What is the name of your company, first of all?
It's Custom by Krista.
Custom by Krista. Where did the idea come from?
Really just started growing up, and I loved cooking. I always watched the Food Network channel, like Chopped and Guys Grocery Games, and I really just loved cooking with my mom in the kitchen. And then it started to grow into, I started gardening with her, so then I started doing the farm to table kind of thing, and then I started hunting with my dad, and I did the field to table, and then it just sort of evolved into what I do now.
So let me talk about that. So when it comes to a young kid learning and observing, I say this all the time, get your kids cooking with you, get your kids gardening with you, obviously with your dad, get your kids hunting with you. You have an appreciation, or at least you do the introduction, and then you
sure.
find your own way. And
Yeah.
right, you could have been like, nope, that's not for me, or this isn't for me, but at least you have the introduction of it. So your mom, did she learn cooking from like a grandma, or is it like carried down generations?
Yeah, my mom cooked with her mom, and it's just like, yeah, it's a great thing.
See?
Yeah,
It's generational.
Absolutely. So what does your mom make best?
I'd say lasagna.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We need to bring her on for some lasagna. I love lasagna. What about your grandma?
She makes this thing called, well, my mom's mom actually passed, but my other grandma makes this shalroni salad. It's like a potato salad mixed with like pasta kind of thing, and I normally don't like potato salad, but it's the best thing I've ever had.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
You should try it since you don't like
yeah.
potato
Well,
salad.
I like some potato salad, but I just think that the vinegar side of like German potato salad is not for me. And then
I
it's too
agree.
mayonnaisey or
Yep.
something.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
if she'll give up her recipe, I'd like to try
I know. I've always asked her for a recipe, and she's like, well, it's not a recipe. It's just like in my head. And it's like, well, it's great, whatever it is.
We
Isn't
can
that
get
true,
Krista
though?
to recreate it for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before, how cooks are all about trying this, trying that. And it's like, what do you think about this? Then someone wants a recipe and they're like, well, I just make it.
Exactly.
Unlike baking, which is a true science.
Yes.
Yep.
You can't alter anything
That's
from
right.
it. So you start at 13, and now were you just doing it for your family? And then suddenly people were like, you're really good. You should do this for a business.
Yeah, that's really mainly what happened is my parents started these like Friendsgiving things, and people would come over and they would like sort of like potluck, everyone bring their own thing. And the first year I just cooked a little bit and people were like, well, who made that? And it was like me. And I was like, they were like really good. And so then the next year I did a little bit more, and then the next year more. And then this past year I did the whole thing myself. So I made a 6-course meal for about 12 to 14 people, and everyone just loved it. And
I mean, we're showing pictures, by the way, if you're just tuning in. Krista Schusler again. Yes, we're talking about charcuterie, but we're also talking about these. I mean, they look like it's a chef, like straight up chefs that you watch on the Food Channel. I was so impressed. So when you were first I mean, I've met you obviously, but when this was first introduced to me, I'm looking at these gorgeous pictures that we're showing of the charcuterie boards. I'm like, this is amazing. And then as I go through your page, I'm like, stop the press. Wait a minute. This woman is unbelievable. So when you're doing this true farm to fork kind of, experience, that's so popular with really high-end chefs.
Yes.
Are you being booked and people are bringing you into their homes, businesses?
so yeah, I can go either way. I offer it like where I can go to their house and do what they want, or I can go to their house and I plan it, or they can come to my place. My dad and I have this really cool idea where we want to like make a little setting out in our woods and like have they come out and it's an experience where I cook them a meal out in the woods.
Oh my
And
gosh.
like it's just like a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Okay, look.
Sign me
So
up.
here's the thing. When we moved into our house, and we're on 6 acres, 1.5 acres is our property, and then the other part is all woods.
Yeah.
But I was like, let's go back into that. You're gonna love this idea because we could do this together. I'm like, Jim, will you do me a favor? Will you plow all that down, and then let's have stations. And when we have people over, this whole entertainment thing, we'll walk around to stations. We'll have a wine station, a bourbon station. You could have food pairings at each
Oh,
station.
yeah, for
Krista,
sure.
let's talk.
Yeah.
Again, so we're going to say this throughout the whole show. Where can they find you to book you?
My page is on Facebook. It's just Custom by Krista, and that's mainly where everyone finds me.
And it's Customs with Krista with a K.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go, right there on the screen. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to pop and her. She's got sparkling water. We've got some wine we're going to taste. And then I'm going to find out where do you get your meats. It was like I'm drinking already. Your meats and your cheeses from. And then what do we have here in front of me?
That is a Asian short ribs with a sweet potato puree and Asian green beans.
Say what? I mean, come on. This is an 18-year-old. This is amazing. All right. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
My house is so outdated and old. Can you help?
Let's take down this wall and add a support beam there.
Or just replace the furniture.
I love it.
New tables from Carol House.
What about this bedroom?
Let's tear down this wall.
Or a new bed, dresser, and accessories.
It's like a whole new room.
Get free in-home design, fast free delivery, and free financing too. Skip the remodel. Add new furnishings from Carol House for your new perfect room. Because you like nice things.
This lady got me in the best shape of my life. I literally didn't know that I could be in shape like that. But the amount that she pours into her clients, and especially whenever you get the one-on-one training, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it was really life-changing. I learned so much about proper form, about nutrition, about just being able to invest in myself. I hired Monica to be my personal trainer, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
All right, welcome back to Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. And we've got our special guest, because normally it's either me or me and Chuck Gillentine from Defiance Ridge Vineyards. He's our sponsor of Wet Your Whistle Wednesday every other Wednesday, which open up an opportunity for us to take this show anywhere and feature really amazing people like Krista Schusler. Krista has a lot going on with her charcuterie business, her business where she can come into your home. My sister-in-law was just talking about this, and she's like, you know what? Many years ago, we had a chef come into our house. It was the coolest experience. And I was like, yep, well, listen to my show because Krista can do this for you. How many do you do in a year's time?
Oh, that's hard. I would say probably like a couple times a month-ish.
Well,
Yeah.
And is it how many courses?
Depending on whatever
they want?
Yeah. But
What's
usually
what's the most you've ever done?
probably 6 or 7.
6 or 7?
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you have been to the French Laundry in Napa, by the way. It's like 13 courses.
Yeah.
You're
Oh
like, I'm
my.
exhausted.
Crazy,
Yeah.
And they're all paired with wine. Okay, we're going to go back and forth. So you're going to do your sound and I'm going to do my sound. This is one of Michelle's favorite sounds. Shout out to Michelle. Ready? There it is. And it's not a beer, folks. She's 18 and
They're
she's
both
been
great sounds, though.
custom by Krista. Kustom again is where you can find her on Facebook. Let me have your glass, Jenny. So we're going to do a Cab Franc from Trefethen, and we're going to show you Trefethen. Now, here's the thing. Jim and I, the very first time we ever went to Napa Valley, was introduced to Trefethen, and there it is on the screen for you if you want to know how to spell it. Trefethen they've got a fantastic vineyard, and they actually were affected. You know, you think about the fires in California, and then they've got earthquakes that happen, all these different things, tornadoes. Well, this particular winery was affected by a natural disaster and then rebuilt, and the family come together, and it's a beautiful place. Go for tasting. We actually did join their club, their Halo Circle, and they just have beautiful wine. I don't know if you've ever had a Cab Franc, first of all.
No.
You haven't. This is my favorite grape, and for those of you that watch Wet Your Whistle Wednesday, you know that I say it all the time, so you're not hearing anything new. But this goes really well with meats, like heavier, but I like the sweet aspect also.
Yeah.
So I'm interested. So you've probably heard your parents say this. We'll see how your sparkling water goes with your food. So cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers to you. So I want you to taste it first.
Okay.
Oh, smell it,
Mhm.
swirl it, taste it, and then we're going to see how it pairs with food, because that's what when you do tastings, I always like that you taste it first and then see how it changes. So built in 1886, John and Janet Trefethen began restoring what is today the Trefethen Winery in 1973. A National Historic Landmark and the only wooden gravity flow winery in the Napa Valley. Trefethen is also one of Napa's largest estate wineries with 600 acres of vineyards surrounding the winery. And Cab Franc, by the way, is to me one of their best. I mean, they've got a lot, but this is actually one of my favorites. So did you like it?
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it. How's that sparkling?
Oh, it's amazing.
What flavor do you have?
What year is that? That's a good vintage, right?
Yeah, berry.
Okay. See,
Yeah, black raspberry.
it's also, and we've talked about this before. So if you had wine that you were serving for your guest, Jenny,
Yeah.
would you have it warm?
I would if it was red.
You would, see? So we've talked about the proper temperature for a red wine, and it's really more around the 52, 53, 54 degrees. You could do maybe 60, 61, but when it is room temperature, it's not really supposed to be served that way.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Because I do have some people at my house and they'll say, "Can you put some ice in my wine?"
Oh, yeah, don't. Right, never. That's a whole nother show. I'm not big on wine and ice together. I think that's a little crazy.
I knew I was going to ruffle her when I said that.
Why? Maybe you could do it, and that
Like
becomes
a Chardonnay?
Well,
Would you put
because
ice
it
in?
becomes more of like a little spritzer kind of thing that you
Oh,
could do,
yeah.
and you have that by the pool.
Yeah.
And I don't
See,
mind that.
I'm a chilled beverage kind of girl.
So you
Like,
want some ice in
I
this?
would prefer. I mean, no, we'll not go that route.
No judgment zone.
But I would put it in the refrigerator.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. When I brought it in, but this one is
But this is so good.
okay. Good. You don't need
That it doesn't. You don't need it.
But I'm gonna tell you, but it came from that though, Krista. It came from being in our wine cooler where this one's been sitting out on the countertop. And so
Oh.
after you sip that, I'm gonna have you try this.
Okay.
And then we'll do a little with the food. So Krista, again, if you are just tuning in, Krista has these amazing charcuterie boards, and we've got some beautiful pictures that you can see on. You have a website and a Facebook page?
Just a Facebook page.
Okay, so on her Facebook page, and there it is live. But then if you go to Custom by Krista, you can find and again, as you start to scroll down, you're going to see these beautiful, truly artistic charcuterie boards. And then you're going to see all the food that she's able to do. Do you love one more than the other?
No, because they're both, I like them both in their different ways. Because, I mean, the food that I make, I get to like present in my own,
Yeah.
like how I like. And I've really got into like presenting like gourmet, high class foods because I'm a firm believer in like presentation is key. And I also like doing the charcuterie boards because I get to do my different style every which one. So
I mentioned going into the break, asking you, where do you get your cheeses, your meats? Do you work with different local companies?
yeah, so my meats and cheeses are from Boar's Head.
Okay.
And then all of my fruits and vegetables are just mainly from like local like Schnucks and stuff like that, but I also try and incorporate local companies. Like there's a lady that lives out by me. Her name is Melissa, and she makes honey, and her company is called Hoosier Honey because she's from Indiana.
That is amazing.
And it's some of the best honey you'll ever eat. And I also do like pickles with Two Men in a Garden and stuff like that. So yeah.
I love that. And I'm sure that the more and more and more, maybe if somebody even wants to collaborate with Krista, maybe reach out. What's the best way to reach out to you? Do you have an email address?
Yeah, either my phone number or my email.
Okay, so again, we'll drop that through the show many times for you so that you can reach out and say, hey, I love what you're doing and let's collaborate. What about your strawberries?
Those are I found a recipe a while back and I was like, oh my gosh, like I've never seen like edible glitter on a strawberry because it just makes it pop so much more. And then I started doing them and people loved them. And
yeah, look, I mean,
they're gorgeous.
Look it's like glittery. I mean, it's bling bling. I put it on my finger.
My kind of strawberry.
All right, since I picked it up already, I'm going to start. Many times you'll see these signs in life that say, eat dessert first, right? If it's like the last breath you have on earth, have some dessert. So why don't we each have a chocolate first? These are big.
They're huge.
Which one do you want? That one's fun.
This one?
Yep.
She's like, give me the big one. Jenny?
I'll take the small one.
We're saving some for Zach. Zach's doing hard work behind the camera. So you've already tasted your sparkling and you tasted your wine. Wet Your Whistle Wednesday, again, featuring custom by Krista, charcuterie and incredible food. Taste your strawberry first. Don't get it on the white chair.
Krista.
It tastes glittery. How often do you eat your own food, by the way?
Pretty often. I mean,
Good.
I make a lot of food for my family all the time. So.
And a good chef, by the way, is supposed to taste their food. Like, is this good? Oh, no, it needs more seasoning. It needs more of
Very
that.
true.
So you have honed a lot of, what is your favorite meal to make?
I would probably some sort of ribs. I really like ribs.
And tell them again what you made for us today because they may have just tuned in.
This is a Asian short rib with a sweet potato puree and Asian green beans.
And so what makes it Asian? Is it the glaze that you put onto it?
Yeah, I make a glaze and then all of my Asian seasonings that I incorporate.
And then where do you get your seasonings from? You source those out?
No, really just from local stores and stuff like that.
Have you ever been to Penzeys Spices in Maplewood?
I have not.
We got to get you there.
Yeah.
It's like a candy store for an adult.
Yeah.
Like an array of a bunch of different
Okay,
things.
by the way, Jenny.
This pairs perfect with this.
To die for.
To
I
die
wish I
for.
could have you taste this, Krista. I'm telling you this. So I knew when you were bringing this in.
Oh, no,
I
you're
dropped
good.
some chocolate. I knew when you were bringing this in that this right here, that's why I had you start with it. So now what it's done is made this Trefethen Cab Franc that we have taste like a fruit bomb.
Yeah.
Right? So when you first tasted it, can you tell them, was it a little, I know, right? You just want to eat that strawberry.
Well, it's melted in my hand too.
Was it a little more bitter and dry and then this has made it sweeter?
Yes, 100%.
And
it was very bitter and dry.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it was good.
Yeah.
But drier. This
Yeah.
now has sweetened it up.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's what we love about pairings. It'll be interesting now as we transition. So I'm going to go this way and we're going to flip to the short ribs. What is the hardest dish that you've ever made?
Probably. Okay, so at this Friendsgiving, I also love to make like alcoholic drinks for like my family and my parents' friends. And I found these like molecular spheres. So it's like you make the drink into this sphere. So I made this mojito and then I put it into this sphere, and it's really hard to make because like you have to have all these different like sodium alginate and like all these different like chemical
Doing
things.
chemistry, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like really hard, and I've messed it up so many times, but once you accomplish it, it's a great feeling because
They're so pretty too.
Thank you.
So are they like, do they have like smoke coming out of them? Do those kind of
You
drinks?
can do those. I haven't done those yet, but like yeah, it's just
Those
like
are
a
so
little
popular.
sphere that you put in your mouth and it pops, and it's everyone
So you
loves
do
them.
mocktails and cocktails?
Yep.
She's a mixologist. She's a chef. She's an entrepreneur. I mean, the world is at her fingertips, and she's taken hold of it. So again, we're doing pairings right now of wine with charcuterie, and I saw a meme. Charlie Brown said that a charcuterie board is an adult's Lunchable with wine instead of a Capri Sun.
Yes.
Isn't it so true?
So true.
I'm serious. Okay, let's taste this. So what made you pair all this together? When you pick vegetables, I mean, I always love talking to chefs and say, well, how do you put it all together? So when you knew you wanted to do the Asian short ribs, right away, does it come to your mind of these are the vegetables I know I'm going to do with it? Or how do you pair it all together?
Yeah, so pretty much like I was like, I know I'm probably gonna do a potato with it. And
starch,
yeah,
right?
so I figured sweet potatoes would pair better because it's an Asian, so it's sweet potatoes sweeter. And so I figured that, and then I would usually always do some sort of vegetable, and I knew a green vegetable and crunchy green beans would be great with the sweet short ribs.
And tell them how you made all of this. So this has got a little char on it.
Yeah, so I take the green beans and I put them in a wok, which is like an Asian pan, and I just stir fry those in there. And then the Asian short ribs, I take and I let them sit in this brine for a couple days, and then we put them in the oven and I cook them through the oven low and slow. And then the sweet potatoes, I just boil and I blend up and make into a puree.
This is unbelievable.
So you did the short ribs in the oven.
Yep.
And so here's the problem. So what kind of tips here, taste, what kind of tips would you give for people not to dry that out? Because as she's just saying, wow, you're doing it in the oven, which a lot of times.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, people will dry out the meat.
Exactly.
But is it because of the brine that you did?
I would say for sure, first off, the brine, yeah, it definitely infuses into the meat and makes it more tender. And doing that like days in advance is very key because people will be like, I get it, like you forget and then you like brine it and you're like, oh, I just got a couple hours, but that really doesn't do much. So
Right.
Those green beans are amazing.
They taste
Thank
like
you.
asparagus.
yeah,
I mean,
my
it's,
gosh.
I love asparagus. And I was like, oh, I almost thought that was asparagus.
yeah.
So,
It's so good.
so one of the things, eat your own food?
Yeah, please.
Oh, I dropped a piece of
I
chocolate.
know, me too.
So one of the things that you need to listen to what Krista just said that's key is patience.
Yes.
So patience to learn, patience to sit and watch your mom or your role model, and then ask questions, learn from them, and have the patience to let it do its work.
Yep.
You can't rush.
Yeah.
No.
You got to
sure.
put love into it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you can't rush. So obviously she had to have the patience to do the brine and okay, wait a couple days. It's no different than wine, by the way. You'll talk to really good winemakers and they'll say, well, this has been in the barrel and this is waiting for 18 months to 24 months. And you're
Right.
like, but I want it now.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to taste it out of the barrel.
Exactly.
Patience.
That's right.
Patience is such an
Patience.
incredible thing to
Yes,
learn.
it is.
Okay, so when you do your charcuterie boards, you do like the fancy stuff. Let's look at some more of your pictures. You start doing the roses, which she did, by the way, and the strawberries, but you do the same thing with all the meats also, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I'll make like salami flowers and other stuff like that. But yeah, it's just like little things that I find here and there, and I try and incorporate it just to make it a little bit better each time.
Yeah, so who taught you that, or you just kind of play around with it?
I just kind of play around with it. So, and things I find on social media and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, that could be cool there, or do it my own way, or like sort of alter it a little bit. And yeah.
Yeah, Zach, if you can drop some of those in of her charcuterie pictures, because I will make, I trust me, I mean, all day long, every single day for the rest of my life, I could eat a charcuterie board.
Yeah,
it is my favorite thing in
seriously.
life. But look at that. I don't do that. I do like what you have here. That's usually what mine look like. And I'll always look at that going, man, people pay a lot of money for this.
I know.
I should have a business. No, never mind. Let me just introduce you to my friend Krista, who has hers. So let's give the range. So like we're looking at this picture right now, which is kind of similar to what we have here. That one looks a little bit bigger. Is that bigger?
Yeah, that's a large, and this is a small.
This is a small?
Yep.
Holy Lord, then how many would that feed?
About 5-ish people.
Or my husband would eat that all by himself.
I was
He would
gonna
have one
say.
big
It
jet.
really depends
on your crowd.
It depends on people.
So the large feeds how many?
About 15.
Okay, so what's the price range of like what would a small charcuterie board go for?
So this would be $80, and then my medium's 110, and
Okay.
my large is 130.
130. So great for your get-togethers.
Yes.
Again, first of all, support small business. Secondly, support a young mind that is doing good in the world. That is, when everybody's talking about your generation being lazy and entitled, and what do you think about that when they say that, by the way?
I mean, sometimes I sort of agree. Like,
Huh?
seeing some friends of mine are just like, or not friends, but like people like around in high school, people just like, I mean, they are sort of lazy, especially with, I feel that electronics and like phones have really put a dent in these kids, but there's also some people
I
that
love that you just said these kids. Even though she's one.
Kids.
These darn kids.
Yeah.
Krista.
She's
an
a
old
little
soul.
above those kids, though.
But otherwise, I know a lot of people that do still work hard and have
Yeah.
a good work
Yeah.
ethic. So.
Okay, so let's ask this because we just had our generational talk on yesterday morning. And so I went and spoke to a group of college students, and they were like, I want people to understand that we are hard workers. We're just distracted. What do you think about that comment?
I mean, I've never really thought about it like that. But I feel like if you're hardworking, that you would like put those distractions away.
That's right.
Amen.
And
I'm glad you said it.
distractions. Let's ask about distractions. What does that mean to you? What distractions?
I would definitely say like a phone is a
Yeah,
distraction.
right?
So yeah.
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 Okay.
And that's the problem. We have to make a choice. What do you want in life? She obviously was like, I want to work hard.
Yeah.
Do you have that hardworking spirit instilled to you from your parents, or where does it
for
come
sure.
from your
Definitely
parents?
my parents. I thank my parents for that for life because I mean none of this would be possible without them.
Yeah,
That's right.
we love her parents, by the way.
Yes.
And hopefully you saw the show that we did with them a handful of months ago. If not, go back, YouTube. You can go to any of my social media platforms. So Adventure Unknown, that's what they own. And that's where we decided to move our studios. And they're doing incredible things. They travel. How many trips have you been on in your life?
A lot, and I'm very thankful.
And
yeah.
very cool trips at
Yeah.
that.
What's your
Yeah.
best? What's your favorite?
Probably Africa.
I knew you were
I
going
was
to say
gonna
that.
say, yeah.
Is that, by the way, you talked about hunting with your father before. How young were you when you first hunted with him?
I think I started around the age of 10.
10.
Yep.
Pretty good.
And was it hard? Like I have an appreciation now because when I was your age, I was like, no, animals don't shoot Bambi.
Yep.
Right? But how do you switch someone's mindset to understand why you hunt?
I would definitely say because it's feeding my family and it's a very like spiritual thing because like when I kill an animal, I really take a step back and I'm like, I just did like a big thing, but I'm thankful for the animal providing that for our family. And I try and use every bit of the animal that I can. Like a lot of people for whitetail especially, they don't use the ribs because the ribs have not much meat on it. They're very lean, so they're not going to be tender. But I have found like recipes to where I, like I said, brine them for a couple days and then I cook them low and slow and they come out really tender, juicy, fall off the bone ribs like a normal rib. So I just try and use the animal as much as I can. And I mean, that's really my main focus on it.
Right. So the thing I never understood was just the sport of it all. And I'm like, well, come on. I'm such a huge animal lover that it didn't make sense to me, but I started talking because that's really what life's about is understanding, communicate, respect. Okay, so why is it done? Oh, I get it, right? Instead of no. And dismissing it right away. And that's what we hope for in life. Okay, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to do our final pairing with the charcuterie board. What do you want me to try with this wine?
I would probably say some meat and
That cheese.
yeah,
What is that cheese you have, by the way?
it's a Chipotle Gouda.
Yeah, she's talking
Gouda's
spice
my
for
favorite.
Monica. All right, more with Krista Schusler. Again, it's custom by Krista when we return on Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. This is my wonderful role model, one of my best friends.
She's, oh my gosh, you got a long life. You could probably live to be 130 or something. And I said, oh God, I hope not.
It's getting hot in here. Don't take off all your clothes.
I'm not going to take off my clothes. On the radio tape, going to
Kansas City, Kansas City, here I come. We're gonna spank. We're gonna speak. We're not gonna spank anybody. We're gonna speak about knowing your value, and then I'm gonna.
I'm going to spank them.
If you don't know your value and you don't grab hold of how important you are, I'm gonna spank you. Folks, you never know what you're gonna get with her. Welcome back. Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. We've had a lot of fun. Go back and watch the beginning if you've missed out because you need to hear about this incredible young entrepreneur that's doing great things in life. Do you want to be a chef, Krista?
Yes, I'd like to be more of a private chef though, not really into the
In a restaurant?
Big
yeah,
restaurant scene.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, I think the sky's the limit for her. You can
Yes.
definitely tell she's going a long, long way. So again, Custom by Krista. If you're just tuning in, be sure to check out her Facebook page. That's how you can book her. I am going to be loading you up with friends and family members. So she
Same.
said she does a couple a month, but you might have to add that. Will you
That's
be able to take
perfect.
on more?
Oh, yeah,
she's
for
not
sure.
adding.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Bring it on, Monica. Bring it on. So there's her phone number. Go to the Facebook page, see her amazing creations and her Custom by Krista charcuterie boards and the true farm to fork aspect. We're tasting the Asian short ribs, which are fabulous. And I think as a true chef, you're probably like, oh, but is it the right temperature? Is it this? Like, it's been sitting there for a little while. I know.
Yep.
I know.
Yep.
I can tell.
Oh, good.
But it's still like, when did you make this for us?
This morning.
Okay. So by this time, she's like, yeah, well, I wish you would have. I'm very big when I cook. It's like, eat it right away, temperature wise. Are you the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eat my food when it's supposed to be eaten. Okay. We talked about also this. That's not a good sound. That should have made, even though it's been open, it should have made more of a. Jenny was telling me I was fancy. I was just trying to pump some oxygen into it. I do like the color of it still. I will say that's not too vinegary. So we're featuring a couple of wines today, and we're going to taste her amazing creations, and we'll give you all the information. Again, she made us some sparkly strawberries that have just the great taste to it, but it's the beauty of it all. It really is about presentation.
Yep.
Right? We know that. The Asian short ribs with some sweet potatoes and some amazing green beans. And then we've got some grapes and blackberries. We've got some tomatoes, strawberries. You got some, is that pecans over there?
Yep.
What nuts do you have over there?
Pecans, cashews, and peanuts.
Yep. And then some cucumbers?
Yep.
Okay. And then we've got meat, cheese, crackers, broccoli. You got everything that you need that fits your nutrition, by the way.
right.
It's all
Yeah.
right there. This is why I like a charcuterie board. And then the wines are a fourth, F-O-R-T-H, fourth Cabernet Sauvignon. Both of these are 2021, so I'm putting them side by side. One, temperature-wise, you can even feel it in the bottle, is much, they're both, for me, not exactly a temperature that they should be, but this one's closer that should be. Trefethen 2021 Cab Franc, and then this one you're going to taste. So if you can hand me that glass, Krista, yeah, we're going to do this. Okay, go ahead and ask her what you want to ask her about Easter.
So I just want to, first of all, I want to tell you how proud I am of you.
All right,
Your
everybody
talent
like a
is
proud mama.
just incredible. And I am so excited for what's ahead for you. But are you going to make Easter dinner for your family?
So yeah, me and my mom were just talking about that, and I usually do make those kind of big meals.
Yeah.
I usually just do like some recipes that I've seen online, or I'm like, oh, I want to try that, or
Yeah.
so I'll probably look through my recipes, find some new interesting ideas, and
Yes.
try them out.
So please post and let us know what you cook.
Oh,
'cause I'm
absolutely.
so
Now,
interested.
does the whole family, so tell them how many you have in your family.
There's 5 of us.
Does everybody take part, or do they all say, you go, Krista?
Yep, they say you go.
They say,
Krista."
move over.
That's awesome.
Yep.
You do your thing. So everybody has their own little niche, right? And you let them go at it. Okay. So you tried it.
I mean, I still think it's great.
I actually was surprised. Now I'm going to say
It's
this has
really
been-
good.
I opened it briefly, just took a little sip of it, and I'm going to try to do a project, a little experiment here with her, and closed it back up. This is the first time. I think this has been open for 3 days.
I actually think I like this one better than the other one.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why everybody does tastings. That's why it's so important. And I'm sure
Yeah.
when you go into people's homes, you're like, yeah, whatever, try whatever.
Yeah.
Yep,
And when you go to other people's homes, do you make drinks for them?
I have before. Yeah.
Look at this. But here's the thing. I remember when I was a waitress and they would go, can you bring me something? I'm like, no, not old enough.
Yep.
I can't serve you.
Yeah.
But you can when you're private.
Exactly. Yeah.
She sets her own rules.
Yep.
All right. So a private chef, that's what she wants to do. She's already kind of doing it for your own homes. Will you make me a little Lunchable? I want a cracker
sure.
with a piece of meat. I want that cracker though. Those are my favorite.
Yeah. The artisan
What
crackers.
are if you when you're putting your charcuterie boards together, what has been your absolute favorite that you've created? And has there been anything that people have asked you to design that has taken you out of your limits and challenged you?
I mean, when I make them, I just like trying new things, but no one's ever really, I mean, like I make these huge 4-foot boards, and sometimes I've done like
4 foot.
a grazing table, which have really
Mhm.
taken me out of my limits by just like getting everything prepped in time and on time and in a beautiful setting. But I've always just loved doing it. And
You just meant timing is everything, right? When you're
Yes.
making meals, you got to time it all. We're going to talk about that, by the way. We've got our Foodie Friday segment coming up. You're going to love this one. This is from Giuseppe from Sicily. You're going to love his accent, and then you're just going to love his food. If you've never been, it's a gem in Imperial, opened almost 19 years.
Wow.
You and your family need to come down.
You have to go.
Have dinner with Jim and I because it's close to our house. Trattoria Giuseppe, and we are going. He's going to make all of this in an hour's time, Krista.
Wow.
We're going to make shrimp and mussels, arancini. We're going to make chicken spadini. We're going to make a pepper loin fillet that's got peppercorn on it. Let's see. I think there's more in there. There's some asparagus. All of that is going to be done in an hour's time.
Wow.
And that's what blows my mind of me going, I'd still be chopping.
Yeah.
Right. Me too. Me too. He's
All right.
such an amazing man. He would welcome you in
Yes.
and want you to cook with him.
Yes.
Like
Wow.
he's wonderful.
Yeah. And to learn from someone like that, right? It's
Just
it's
get his
always,
tortellini when you go.
what did you say?
Just get his tortellini when you go.
You always are being educated. So in a dream world, if I were to give you your dream job, what would it be, Krista?
Something mixed with
Between you and your lover,
right.
whatever, or group of girlfriends, it doesn't matter what it is.
Anniversary dinner.
Anniversary
Yep.
dinners, again, holidays coming up, just make it happen and support this wonderful young
Yes.
mind. Custom by Krista, charcuterie and incredible food.
Yes.
Thank you, by the way, tuning in for our Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. And like we said, if you're all into food, don't miss Friday morning, Trattoria Giuseppe. Giuseppe will be on with us and we'll be cooking like crazy. Have a wonderful one. Whatever you're drinking, go wet your whistle.
That's right.